So for us, and remember that we're a small council and probably, off the top of my head, one of the smallest in Essex at least, possibly in the UK, the CAF has given us the ability to track, monitor, and actually review our systems at almost an audit level with the buy-in of our senior management. And that has been so critical to our cybersecurity, because 99% of the time, it's the senior management that are under attack. They're the ones who'll see any number of phishing emails, any number of, issues with their devices, the list goes on. So when it's come to the CAF, it's not only brought that visibility, that ability to actually sit and say, this is a problem, look at it, but it's given us the ability to actually review it. And that is so critical to our cybersecurity. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to go to the point where, yes, we have cyber essentials, yes, we do PSN checks, but CAF takes that information and almost puts it on steroids. It takes it to that next level, and that's where it's been beneficial for us. It's let us actually get that buy-in and that understanding of this is important. It's not something that IT need to worry about. It is a global concern. For us, it's sort of twofold. First and foremost, obviously, there is CAF Ready. I know that's sort of an external element to this, but the CAF Ready was the ability to bring in the senior management into those conversations, which was helpful. So it's not that the CAF by itself wasn't supportive, it's just that the CAF Ready really sort of allowed, additional communication, and that was helpful. But I think what was key is probably going back to the CAF website. I know it's sort of in a draft format, but the website and the templates that are then on that website, those templates in particular allowed me to take the workload to our senior management and say, this is everything. This is the scoping, and the scoping alone is going to take a few weeks to achieve. And they were able to visually see not only the involvement of the other teams and the requirements for, the approver and again, the project management, essentially see it as a project, I suppose, is the right way of wording it, but to actually visualize that overall structure. So again, from my perspective, as the IT manager, I had almost an arsenal of templates that I could take and communicate to that senior management and say, this is the structure, look at the work. And that's where they then have that buy-in. So again, for me, the website was key to driving this. It really was. Honestly, the CAF has sort of spurred on almost a complete transformation within Maldon District Council of how IT is seen, and that for me is golden. That is phenomenal, because what has happened is we've gone from a structure of IT are completely siloed, and IT have their budget, and IT do all their contracts, and IT look after everything, and they support everything, and IT are this bubble, and everyone just contacts us. There's never sort of a positive comment, they contact us when something is broken. And that has now evolved over the course of what we've done in CAF so far, and I do believe it has been generated by CAF into our departmental managers now not only taking the budget out of IT, which is a huge deal, because that means there's less resource intense work for IT, but they're now taking on contract management. And that is unheard of, at least in Maldon. We have never been in a position where a departmental manager has said, actually, I want to manage my contract with my system because it means that I've got visibility of the updates, I've got visibility of the cybersecurity, I've got visibility of the new technology coming. Now, don't get me wrong, obviously IT are heavily involved in those areas, and the line managers now, and you're talking within the last week, quite literally, the line managers now have the responsibility of involving me as IT manager to drive the technology forward. But what CAF has allowed is those managers to actually take on the responsibility of their system. We've never had that. Literally never had that. So scoping our, again, I'm going down the critical systems path because that's what we did, but scoping our systems, putting together a document using the templates from CAF that says these are every system we have, and to note, we have 188 systems. I only know that because of CAF. Out of those 188 systems, the departmental management have now actually taken notice of what they're using. And for the first time ever, actually, well, care about what they're using. That's huge for us, absolutely huge. Not just our workload, but our resource utilization is better. Now, I know that sounds like that sounds ridiculous to state from something like the CAF, but it's because of that visibility. Because people are now actually paying attention to what they're using, we're in a position where we actually have more controlled workflows from, our processes, our policies. This stuff was reviewed. This was checked through CAF, and we're now in a better position because of it. Now, as I said, I know we're only on the trial. We did 3 critical systems, but the critical systems we went for were sort of Uniform, 𝗟𝗃𝗃, and in this case, we did FirmStep. Those were our 3 critical systems. Those 3 systems overarch everything else that we do as a council, quite literally. So they're huge for us. I mean, we could have done sort of Microsoft 365. I know some people did, but fine, emails are critical, I suppose. But we needed 3, and we chose our 3 big hitters, quite literally. So we know that the planning team, as an example, environmental health, there's about 20 departments in our council, all of which actively now not only know the system they're using, which realistically they didn't before, and they didn't understand that intricacy. They now understand the criticality of those systems not only talking to each other, the integrations, but also the cybersecurity elements behind it. And they now, we've had management turn around and say we feel we are in a much better cyber stance. We feel our risk has gone down because of the CAF process. So, I mean, I can give references to that, quite literally. Well, your scoping document actually asked that question. You said, what is your risk, what's it called? What is your council's view on risk? And honestly, prior to CAF, we had specifically some managers, I'm not going to name names, there were some managers who were completely risk averse. If we came and said, by the way, you've got an upgrade, that upgrade would take 2 years because they were not interested in not only the downtime, but the change in the system. Whereas once we reviewed that system through the CAF process, and again, it was sensible for us. We may have had the 3 critical systems, but we went through every system we had. We did a workshop and we said, okay, what is every system? So that we could get that criticality list. In going through every system, we were able to then turn around to those well, I suppose they are directors, but assistant directors at least, and say, okay, look, your teams are using, I don't know, these 4 systems. In regards to these 4 systems, this is the workshop we've now done to map that system. This is what it talks to, this is how it talks to, this is how your team uses it, everything. We were giving information that IT's known for years, fine. And as I said, I can only really speak from an IT perspective, but even the managers of the departments didn't know. And we only had that because of the scoping document for CAF. So yeah, for me, the CAF was a big deal. That was really, really positive outcomes for us. Very much so. Yeah. As I said, so far, we've had a positive experience. I'm not going to go as far as saying enjoyed doing it, because there is a workload behind it. But the benefits we have reaped from doing it are fantastic. As I said, we've not only seen full buy-in and understanding from senior management and, of course, going down the chain as well, but we are now, I believe, in a much better position in regards to our cybersecurity, because we have now mapped, we have now worked out what is critical. I mean, this, again, we did critical systems, as I've said, but for us, that changed our disaster recovery planning, that reinvented our business continuity planning. We were able to sit down in groups with senior management and say, okay, these systems are critical. We have now mapped them. These are the adjoining systems to those. If these break, these are the problems you will see. How do we deal with that? And those questions were all raised by doing the CAF. Yes, I would absolutely recommend it. We feel so far that CAF is more in depth. It covers a broader range of topics and areas, more so tenfold than something like Cyber Essentials, which was sort of the recommended action. But it doesn't overburden you. There's work to do, but something like ISO, for example, ISO 27001 or 27002 as it now is, they take 3 years to achieve. CAF has work behind it, but does not take 3 years to achieve, and it gives you that reassurance. So yeah, from my standpoint as an IT manager, and I believe from Maldon's input as well as a reference, yes, I would think other councils should go for CAF. Yes.